Hello and welcome back once again in English video, and in today's video we are going to start a new lesson from your language portion, and the lesson name is verb. All right, now you all know what is a verb, but today in this chapter we are going to know more about verb and also its kinds. Okay, verb and its kind. So let's start. First of all, let us see again, revise that what is a verb. A verb is a word that refers to an action, a state of being, or a position in a sentence. Now, in your previous classes, or you can say in smaller classes, you have read the definition of a verb that says that a verb is an action word or doing word. What does it mean? That it means that a verb is a word which shows an action that has been done or that is being done in the sentence, or it shows that what work is going on in that particular sentence. All right, but here it is saying that a verb refers to an action also, and it also refers to a state of being or a position in a sentence. Apart from action, there is also a state of being and position. Okay, so a verb is not just only action, it is a state of being also and position also. Now let us see this with an examples. The first example is the peon locked the classroom. Now here locked is your verb. Okay, locked is your verb which is in ed form. You can say it is in second form or third form of the verb. You all must know there are forms of verb also: first form, second form, third form. Okay, fourth form, fifth form, like this, and we use these forms of verbs according to the tenses. Okay, like what tenses we are doing or what tenses we are using in the sentence, we use these verbs according to that. We change the form of the verb according to the tenses we are doing. So tenses we will do in the next chapter. Now locked is your action which is being done in this sentence. Now this is an action. This shows an action, locked word. So it is an action also. It is a verb. A peon locked the classroom. What did he do? He locked the classroom. So it is showing the action. Next example is Tanya is a dancer. Now Tanya is. Now which word is a verb here? The verb is here. Is the verb in this sentence, and this is showing a state of being. State of being means that what is Tanya? Tanya is a dancer. So it is showing that Tanya is a dancer. It is showing this dancer. Who is this dancer? Tanya is. Okay, so it is showing the state of being. What is Tanya? It is she is a dancer. Next is she has a magical pencil. Now here, what is the verb here? Verb is has. So has shows the position. Okay, position means belonging. So what does he has? He has a magical pencil. So this magical pencil belongs to the subject he. So has in this sentence is the verb here, which is showing the position. So basically it says that verb refers to an action, state of being, or position in the sentence. All right, now children, I want to tell you that locked is your verb, and it is a base verb. You can say lock is a main verb, not base verb. Lock is a main verb. Okay, those words which shows action in the sentence, like lock, here it is in second form, locked, cry, sing, dance, walk, sleep, sit, write, sing, okay, throw. These all words which shows action, which tells some action, are all main verbs. They are all main verbs and they have different forms. Okay, and the second type of verbs like is, has, all right, like this: is, are, am, was, were, has, have. These all are your helping verbs. These are also called your auxiliary verbs also. So main verb, the action words are main verbs, and is, am, are, was, were, has, have, these all are your auxiliary verbs, or you can say these all are your helping verbs. Okay, so these helping verbs is shows state of being, has shows possession. Same as if is replaced with was. Tanya was a dancer, so then also was will be your verb here and it will show state of being. If I replace has with have, they have a magical pencil. Okay, I'll have to change the subject also because I'm using have, because have we use with the plural subjects. Here he is the singular subject, that's why it is used has here. So he has, and if I change the subject he to they have magical pencil. Okay, so have will be also show possession in the sentence, so it will be also your verb. Has will be verb, has will be has and have will be your verb in the sentence. Okay, now remember, points to remember that no sentence can be formed without a verb. It means that in every sentence which you make should have a verb or it should contain a verb. Without a verb, a sentence is incomplete, because a sentence should show any action, state of being, or possession. A verb may consist of one word, more than one words, maybe 2, 3 or 4 words. Okay, now it means that a verb can be of more than one word also. All sentences must have a verb with a subject. Now what does this mean? That every sentence you make or every sentence you create, it should have a verb. This was clear from the first sentence, that every sentence should have a verb and it should contain a subject also. But what if we don't need a subject? We should need a subject. Subject, you all know what are subject. Subject in a sentence is a word about whom we are talking, or about or you can say who is being discussed in that sentence is the subject. So subject is mostly written at the starting of the sentence. All right, in most of the sentences. If we talk about interrogative sentences, you have already read about sentences, types of sentences. There are four kinds of sentences. All right, so if we talk about interrogative sentences, leaving interrogative sentences only, all the rest of the 3 sentences, the subject is written at this starting of the sentence. Okay, so let's see that what are the object of a verb. Now I have talked about verb, what is a verb, and what kind of verb can be. Like here I've said it shows action, state of being and possession, not a kind, but these are verbs. Okay, these kind of words are verbs. Now I have also talked about that every sentence should have a verb, and also I have talked that all sentences must have subject. And also in imperative sentences, the subject is implied and not directly mentioned. Now in imperative sentences, subject is implied, not directly mentioned, means that subject, we assume the subject. It is not like we should mention the subject. Like if I say she dances beautifully. Okay, she dances beautifully. In this sentence, she is your subject and we have to mention the subject here. But in imperative sentences, if I say what are imperative sentences? Like request, command, okay, orders, these all are imperative sentences. But if I talk about imperative sentences, we do not need to add subject, it is assumed. Okay, it is assumed, it is not we have to put directly the subject. Like if I say please give me a glass of water, okay, please shut the door. So here the person we are talking about is the subject, and it is not about, and the person to whom we are talking is the subject only, and we need not to mention it directly. All right, so it is assumed in the imperative sentence. Subjects are assumed in the imperative sentences. In interrogative sentences, we use the, you can say, helping verbs before the subjects. Okay. And in the other type of sentences, like it is, rest of the two sentences are declarative and exclamatory sentences. Okay, so most of the times we use declarative sentences. Now let's talk about the object, that what is an object of the sentence. Now let's see with the example here. I opened the file. Okay, I opened the file. Here I is the subject. Okay, the first word of the sentence, I opened the file. Open is your main verb in the second form, opened the file. Now here, if I just say file is the object in the verb opened, like opened what? If I just say I opened, so opened is a verb, but opened what? The file. So the file is the object of the verb open. This is the file is the object, because how we can say that it is showing that what is open? File is open. It is showing the relation where the action has taken place. Okay, on which thing or on which term the action has taken place. Where this opened action has taken place? On the file. So file is the object. Next example is the doctor gave medicine. So if I just say doctor gave, so doctor gave what? Medicine. So medicine is your object to the verb gave. Okay, again gave is your main verb here, give, which is in second form, gave. Okay, so medicine is the object of the verb gave. Third example is my mother loves me. If I just say my mother loves, so my mother loves whom? The next word is me. So me is your object of the verb loves. Alright, so I hope you have understood the objects. Now let us discuss about the kinds of object. Now there are two kinds of object. One is direct object and another is indirect object. Let's see what are these. Some verbs have two objects. One is direct object and another is indirect object. For example, the magician gave the king a golden lamp. Now gave what? A golden lamp. Gave whom? The king. Now the answer to what question is direct object and the answer to whom question is the indirect object. Now direct and indirect objects are that if in a sentence, if when you ask a question, what, gave what, now you have to use the verb here and then you have to put the question. Now this is the verb gave. The magician gave what? Golden lamp. Okay, and another question is the magician gave whom? The king. So if the answer to what is your direct object, it means a golden lamp is your direct object and the answer to whom in the question is your indirect object. So the king is your indirect object. All right. So now let's see the two kinds of verbs. There are many. The verb is a very vast topic, but here in your syllabus it is only the kinds of verb which is transitive and intransitive verbs. All right. So let us see what are transitive and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs, a verb tells us something about a subject. What are verbs? Verbs always tell something about the subject. There can be no sentence without verbs. I have already told you that there can be no sentence. It means that all the sentences which you make should have or should contain a verb. A verb tells us what a person or thing does. Does means action. Okay. What does the verb tells? That verb tells that what a person or a thing. And what a person and thing means that it is talking about the subject. A person or a thing will be a subject of the sentence. What a person or thing does. Example, an electrician repairs the fan. Now here electrician is your subject. An electrician repairs the fan. So repairs is your verb. The fan. What is done to a person? Now here next, what does the verb tells? A verb tells what is done to a person. Samir was scolded by the teacher. Now here, what was done to Samir? Samir was scolded. So scolded is again your verb here. What a person or thing is. Now here it shows the state of being. A robe is red in color. A robe is red in color. So is your verb here. Okay. Some verbs do not convey a complete meaning by themselves, like the boy broke, Pragya bought. Now something objects must be added to these verbs to complete this sense. The example: the boy broke the memory card, Pragya brought a laptop. Now if we see the above examples, like the boy broke, Pragya bought. Now in the first example, the boy broke is your verb here. Okay, so what I said, that a sentence must contain, or a sentence must have a verb. So I have put a verb here, the boy broke, but we don't get the answer that what did he break, what did he break. Okay, Pragya bought. Pragya bought, we know that Pragya has taken an action. Pragya took, what Pragya did, Pragya bought. But what did she buy? क्या खरीदा उसने? So it means that this broke and this bought words are not completing their sense. We need to add something to complete the sense of these words. So basically, if I add an object after these verbs, like the boy broke the memory card, I added the memory card. So now we have understood, or now the sentence is complete and it is giving a complete sense and meaning that the boy, what did he break? He broke the memory card. So the object I added was the memory card. Now the sentence is complete. Pragya bought. What did she buy? A laptop. I added an object, a laptop here. So this laptop is completing the meaning of the verb bought. So now the sentence is complete. Pragya bought a laptop. So in these two examples, we need to add an object to the sentence to complete the meaning. Okay, basically the meaning of these verbs, broke and bought. So transitive verbs are those verbs which need an object to complete their meaning or to make the sentence complete. Okay. The action expressed by the verb broke passes over from the subject boy to the object memory card. Now again, when we added these objects in these two sentences, then we came to know about the whole sentence. Then we understood the whole sentence, that what the sentence wants to tell us. Okay, so the complete sense came out after adding the object. So basically, when we add an object to a sentence and the meaning completes, it means that that verb is your transitive verb. A verb that requires an object to complete its meaning is called a transitive verb. Some transitive verbs take two objects, one of which is indirect object and other is direct object. Now I have explained to you that what is an object, okay, and there are in some sentences there can be two objects also, direct and indirect. So some transitive verbs take two objects, like a jeweler gave her the necklace. Now I told you that if I ask the question what is your direct object and to whom is your indirect object. So jeweler gave what? The necklace, direct object. The jeweler gave to whom? Her is your indirect object. All right, have understood? Okay, now let's see that what is an intransitive verb. Now, intransitive verb is just the opposite of transitive verb. Like in transitive verb, a transitive verb needs an object to complete its meaning or the sense of the sentence. Intransitive verbs are those words which complete the meaning on their own. They do not need, or you can say the intransitive verbs do not need or do not require any object to complete their sense. Alright, let's see how it happens. Some verbs can complete by themselves. They do not require an object to complete their sense. For example, the baby is sleeping. Now here we do not need any object to complete the meaning of the verb sleeping. If I say the baby is sleeping, we are understood that this verb sleeping is giving the complete meaning that baby is sleeping. How he is sleeping, where he is sleeping, this is the other matter. But baby is sleeping, it is giving the complete sense. Next is the manager shouted. Now again here, shouted itself is showing that he made a loud voice. He used the loud voice, shouted. So we need not to know that how loudly he shouted or how what was the intensity of his shouting. Okay, so the manager shouted. The meaning is complete that he shouted and we have understood. So that's why the action expressed by the verb is sleeping and shouted do not require any object to convey its meaning. So basically it means that an intransitive verb is a verb which do not require any object to complete its meaning. It gives complete meaning by its own. Okay. Now children, this is your worksheet and this is your worksheet number 42. Alright, this is a non-submission worksheet. So what you will do this work in your notebooks as I have given. The book from which I taught you was not in your course. I have just taken the topic from that book only to just explain you, because I don't have the book which you are having in your school. So that's why I took the help of that book. Okay, but the work you will do from this worksheet which is given to you. Now this is your non-submission worksheet. You will ignore the submission date. Okay, and you will do this work in very neat and clean handwriting in your language notebooks. Now let's see in the first question, it is the definition of the verb. What is a verb with the examples. Okay, this all I have explained you. Then question number 2 is also I have explained you that there are two kinds of verb, transitive verb and intransitive verb. The explanation is also written and the examples are also written. Now let's do the exercise. There is only one exercise here. Circle the verb in the following sentence and write whether the verb is transitive or intransitive. So basically, first of all, you have to identify the verb in the sentence, and then you have to identify its kind, whether the verb you have underlined or it is given circle, whether the verb you have circled in the sentence is transitive or intransitive. So you have to mention it. Okay, so let's get started. In the first sentence, I can smell. So what is the verb here? Can is also smell. Smell is your verb. You will circle the verb smell. It is an action. I can smell. And what kind of sentence verb it is? Whether it is transitive or intransitive. Just see that does it need an object? I can smell. Is it giving a complete sense? Yes, I can smell, you can smell, everybody can smell. And we do not need to know that what we can smell. Okay, so smell is your intransitive verb because it does not need any object to complete its meaning. So basically it is giving the complete sense. Smell is your intransitive verb. Okay, like this you will do your worksheet. Next is the library is meant for reading. Now here in the sentence, library is meant. Now meant is your verb. Meant is your verb. Is also your verb, but first of all you will use main verb. You will find out the main verb and then you will go for the kind. The library is meant. If I just say library is meant, for what purpose it is meant? So the question is arising what? So when in the sentence the question arises what, for what, then it means that the verb is not complete. It needs an object to complete its meaning. So then I added an object for reading. So it means that meant is your verb which is an incomplete form and it needs an object. So the verb which needs an object is transitive verb. Next is children laughed. Now children laughed. Is it giving the complete sense? How, why, what, when? Do we need the answer to these questions when I say children laughed? No. We do not need to know that how children laughed, why children laughed. If we need to know, they make other kind of sentences. Okay, there are the other questions. But here we can understand with these two words, children laughed, that children laughed. Loudly, slowly, quietly, we don't want to know. Okay, so the laughed is your verb. And it is intransitive verb because it does not need any object to complete its meaning. Teacher shouted. Again, shouted is your verb, teacher is your subject. Here children was a subject. So shouted, again we do not need to know how the teacher shouted. Okay, basically we have understood that teacher shouted, that's it. So it does not need any object. So it is intransitive verb. Next is we went to see the zoo. Now we is your subject, went is your verb, went is your verb, and if I say we went, if I just say we went, so we don't know we went where, we don't know the place. So we need to know the place. We went where. So the question is arising where do we, means another question is arising that we went where do you people went. So I added to see the zoo. So that means that went is a verb which needs an object. So it is transitive verb. Next question is the boy climbed up the tree. If I just say the boy climbed, so climbed is your verb here. If I say just climbed, the boy climbed, and again the question is where did he climb? So the question is arising, that means that climbed word or verb is an transitive verb. She smiled gracefully. Next is smiled word is your verb here. Now if I just don't add gracefully, she smiled, we are getting complete sense that she smiled. The sentence is complete. So I do not add gracefully, beautifully or nicely, it is okay. Okay, so that means smiled is again intransitive verb. If we don't want to know how she smiled, okay, it is okay. Smiled, we are understood that she smiled. So it is intransitive. So eighth is the player kicked. Now if I say the player kicked, what did he kick? He kicked the ball, he kicked the football, he kicked the bat, he kicked the net. What did he can kick anything. So we need to know that what did he kick. So I have added the verb, I added the object, the ball. So the kicked is your transitive verb. Alright, next is the fire burns. Now again here burns is your object, burns is your verb here. Now do we need to add anything to it to complete its sense? If I just say the fire burns, it is understood that fire burns, it is giving the complete meaning. So we do not need to know how does it burn. Okay, so burn does not need, this verb does not need any object to complete its meaning. So it is your intransitive verb. Okay, now this was an exercise, and children, if you are having book in your home, if you have bought your books of language, you can do the exercises for practice in your book only. Okay, like this. So this is the exercise which I have made for you because I don't have your books. So you can do those exercises in your books by yourself for practice. Alright, and if you need to ask anything, if you don't understand anything in those exercises, you may ask in the class group also for the answers. Okay, but first of all, you need to try yourself, try the exercises yourself, and then if there is any problem, you are free to ask. Okay, so till the next video, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.